Hey, welcome to Classic Performance, and we're back again with the 1941 Cadillac Series 60 Super, or Super 60, with body by Fleetwood. And last week we did a walk around of the car, under the hood, the trunk, the interior. Take a look at that if you want to get a good overview of the car. But today we're going to take this car on the road and take it for a drive. So let's get in, hit the road on this beautiful day, and take you for a ride in the Cadillac Fleetwood. So we're here inside the car, 3-speed. We got ourselves a neutral. Push the clutch pedal in, turn the key on. You press the button right here, and she fires right up. Take our brake off right here, and then it has a good V8 sound to it. And this car too is extremely quiet going down the road. I'm going to open our cowl vent here, which is right on the front. I don't know if you can see that or not. Get a little fresh air in here. It's a winter day, but it's a sunny day, so it's a little bit warm in here, even, believe it or not. The car has no seat belts. It hasn't been upfitted with seat belts. Seat belts were not a requirement back then, so we don't have them, so we'll be extra careful. Down in first gear, and as I don't even have my foot on the accelerator. This car has enough torque and enough inertia mass in the flywheel. You just let the clutch out and it just moves along so nicely. Very light on the steering. I can steer it when I'm rolling with just a couple of fingers. And this car does not have power steering. This is all manual, but it's very, very light. And you'll be amazed at how quiet this car is as well. First gear, up, over, and up. Second gear right here. Fog lights on, we'll turn them off. We're going to wait for a little bit of traffic. Okay, so all clear on the traffic. Put her back down in first gear. First gear is not synchronized, but second and third is. Let's clutch out, and away she goes. And this is roughly 350 cubic inches. 150 horsepower and over, I think it was 260 feet-pound of torque, around 1,700 RPM. So we're in third gear. This car does not have overdrive, and it really doesn't need it. If you watch some of our Packard videos, the cars did have an overdrive where you let off the throttle and it switches into overdrive. These do not. Got a little bit of wind noise. I can hear it right at the top of that window. It's a very blustery day out here, so I apologize if there's a little bit of wind noise. This thing stops for a car that weighs well over 4,000 pounds. It stops very nicely with the four-wheel disc brakes. We're in second gear, about 10 miles an hour, and we'll give you a perspective from the driver's area as well. So car accelerates beautifully. We'll switch angles with it here, kind of give you our POV look. Go back down into first gear. Ease our clutch out. You can watch our speedometer too and just kind of monitor our acceleration. So we're at 20. Make sure our brake's off there. Oops, left that on. There we go. How quickly this car gets to 40 miles an hour. So it's great acceleration, all our gauges work and everything, and you know, this car just goes right down the road, very smooth. We've had this on the interstate as well, and this car will do and hold 70 miles an hour in traffic on the interstate in summer temperatures as well, and still run nice and cool. As I mentioned in our earlier video, the way this hood goes in on the front with the pontoon fenders, you can see right down on the road. You've got a very nice perspective here, driving perspective, with the way this hood design is, instead of like cars of the 50s or some of our, like our 48 Packard that we did the video on, has a really wide hood. We'll put our turn signal on here. I'm even gonna downshift a little bit, come on the brakes. Take this a little bit more than a left-hander right here. And I can shift into third gear even at 20 miles an hour. There's so much torque in this motor that it doesn't really matter what speed. You don't have to rev this car up to move it along. And I'd mentioned too, this, I don't know if this is what kind of casting this is on the wheel. Please leave it in the comments. You know, it's kind of a Bakelite plastic. You know, I call it ivory because it looks and feels like ivory. And it's just a beautiful feeling wheel, and this car is incredibly light on the steering. Kind of come through these little S's here, and this is a 35-mile-an-hour road. We're going 35 miles an hour. The car handles these turns extremely well. And I don't know what the hood ornament is called here, but the flying lady, I know there's a name for it. Leave that in the comments too if you like. I'd be happy to be more educated about Cadillacs than I am. But you just look at this beautiful dash. Now, the wood on the doors over here is painted, is real wood. Two different types of wood, more like a burl wood on the bottom, a different wood on the top. If you know what that wood is, let me know. The wood on the dash, or the wood like, this is a steel dash, and this is faux painted. So this is faux painted. And most cars of the era, all the wood was, of the trim was, and around the windows was faux painted wood, but this actually has real wood. So if you know what that is, let me know. But this, of course, is painted. Go ahead, I've got a little, I'll turn my Cowl vent off, start to feel a little cool on my feet, cools it right off nicely. And of course, beautiful horn trumpets. Actually, they're not trumpets, they're kind of coils up there by the radiator. You've seen that in the previous video, but you hit the horn in this car, they know you're coming. Take my hands off the wheel, and it goes perfectly straight down the road. One of the things I'm going to do here, we're at 50 miles an hour, and we've got a speed limit that says 35, so we're going to go ahead and slow down. I just take my foot off the gas. I'm going to leave it right down here in third gear. We've got a right-hander coming up here, and you don't even have to downshift in this car. We just come right up here. I'm going to kind of swing it wide, turn it with one hand. We're still in third gear, and we can just accelerate right away down to 15 miles an hour. That's how much torque this motor has. So a very good driving car and a lot of torque in this V8. You don't even have to downshift going around a turn at 15 miles an hour. You can accelerate right to top speed. As I give you another example, you can see we're clearly in third gear. We're going to slow down right about to maybe about 8 miles an hour right here in third gear, and just easily get on the gas. And you can see how it accelerates up from 8 miles an hour in third gear. So another example of just the beautiful torque that this flathead V8 has. So I hope that gives you kind of a sight and sound and kind of a feel for a 1941 Cadillac 60 Super Fleetwood coachwork. Like I said, the car is extremely smooth. It goes beautifully down the road. You can drive this car anywhere. And this is a frame-off restored car, so you would expect this kind of drivability out of a restored car. So that's going to do it for us here at Classic Performance for the 1941 Fleetwood. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. It's going to help us do more content like this. The 1941 Cadillac. We've got some more Packards to come, sports cars, a couple of muscle cars coming, and another barn find that you're not going to believe. It's a big one too in terms of size and everything else. So that's going to do it for us today. So have yourself a great day today, and thanks so much for watching.